Hi and welcome to my channel. It's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. Happy Sunday to you all. We're going to start today with, the video for today is going to be a lovely WIP and a waffle. Somebody did ask in regards to how I work on sort of blocks of diamond colours. So I thought we'll start on this deer that I kitted up this week, and I have a nice big fat block of one colour here, so I'm going to start with that. I have a pen that has got a new everlasting tip on it, so I've just filled it with wax, which means it's going to be entertaining on the wax front. I also have one of the prototypes of the tray that my hubby has been creating, and I have the diamonds, of course, which is helpful. But I do also have some other goodies here, and I just wanted to show you a couple of things that have arrived this week from some lovely subscribers. So this first one, well, the first two are from Margaret. Now, this one arrived and she said to me to open them, you know, rather than, doesn't need to be opened on camera, but to open them. And I opened this and I was like, why she sent me diamonds? Like, I'm thinking, I've not discussed it. I'm thinking, eh? However, luckily, Megan is a lot cleverer than me. And she realised what types of diamonds these are. So, if you're ready for this, they are glow in the dark. So that shows them a bit better when I sort of turn off my lights. So get ready for light again. Oh, but yes, they have a glow in the dark coating. They are square, already pre-glow in the dark, so I am so going to use these on some of my paintings and change out some of the diamonds for glow in the dark ones because they are amazing. So thank you so much for those, Margaret. I will be using those. I'm not sure what painting yet because this one's around, but I will find a painting. I also then received a second gift from Margaret, and I'm not sure where these are from. However, it is a mystery painting. So this one is also in a square, which is awesome. It's a 30 by 40. I do like to mix up my squares and rounds. And I mean, the colours in it are amazing. I will show you the colours in a moment, but you can't actually sort of see what they are there. Now, I've not unravelled this one fully. The back of the canvas is fine. I need to sort of flatten it out. But at the same point, because it's got the opaque cover, I don't necessarily want to tell myself what it is. So I'm just going to move half of it down and I'm just going to flatten it. And I'm not going to uncover like the most. I'm not going to uncover most of the image in an attempt to find what it is. I want the surprise. Some of you may well be able to tell by the two halves, and there is sort of what looks like feet about there, but I'm not going to look any more than that. It's flat now, which means I can store it away, and the colours in it look absolutely gorgeous from what I can see. Now, the symbols do have colours on the key, but they don't on the actual painting. The actual painting is black and white. And, 3756. Okay, so you can sort of see the colours in there, but there is some gorgeous colours in there. With some whites and some blues and some little pops of colour. So I think that's going to be very interesting to see what that one turns out to be like. So I'll be putting that one in my app and crossing fingers that it will pick that one soon. So thank you so much to Margaret for those two items. And the other items which have been on a journey. So the lovely Cindy sent both Megan and I a Christmas present, and it was shipped in December from the States. However, it went through the depot in Chicago, which, even being in the UK, I know that they are struggling so hard with getting through the volume of mail that's coming through. Anybody that has had something stuck in Chicago is probably very well aware. It had a little update on the 19th of January, but was still in Chicago, which made us know they hadn't lost it, because to scan it and update it, they needed to have it. But then nothing happened again until all of a sudden it updated that it was in the UK, and I got it the next day, because I must admit Royal Mail are on fire at the moment with postage. So we have little gift tags. Look at these little full-on little tubs. So Megan's got one as well. Tub with a bow, absolutely gorgeous, with little tags. And then we did also get some lollipops. So there's a load of, well, we put them in this little basket just to keep them together. And this is from Bella's Diamond Painting Pens. They do have a Facebook group. I am actually a member of them. But yeah, Bella's Diamond Painting Pens. And we got a little gift card to say, just to show how much I appreciate your kindness, I plan to pay it forward. Enjoy, and don't forget to check out Bella's. So it's Bella's Diamond Painting Pens. They are on Etsy, but they're also on Facebook as well. And we'll start with Megan's, just so that I can give it her back. But even when you open it up, look at this. So she's got her favourite colour of green, an awesome pen. She loves it, by the way, so thank you so much, Cindy. She has had a look, but then she's let me have it. We have got a candy cane that's a little bit broken up, but that makes it easier to eat. She's got a cover minder, and then there is all sorts of little things. So there's little cherry candies, there's little chocolate, there's little stickers. I'm not quite sure what that is. That's like a hot cocoa mix, lollipops, more stickers, a candy cane that survived. But hey, as I say, it's easier to eat if not. A pencil, a little, what does it say? Let It Snow pencil with a rubber on the end. All sorts of stuff in there. And even this little gift box has got paper on the inside to stop the bow coming off. So absolutely gorgeous. Worth waiting for, Cindy. Worth waiting for. For mine, it has had a little bit of a hot chocolate explosion. So I did also get a cocoa mix. I'm not going to pull everything out because, as I say, it has exploded. But I've got some little washi tape. Also have a cover minder, but this one's in the shape of a lion. And then, in fact, I don't know why I put wax in the new pen, because I want to use this one. And look at that. How gorgeous is that? So it's like green and purple. Beautiful. It's also got a straightener in the end, which is absolutely perfect, because that's what I always use. And a pen in that end, pen tip in that end. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put that one aside, and I'm going to fill up my wax, and I'm going to use this one. So thank you so much, both Cindy and Margaret. Absolutely amazing, amazing gifts. And they will definitely be put to good use. I will, of course, deal with the hot chocolate, but I'm not dealing with it now. Okay, so let's get on to the rest of the WIP and Waffle. Now I've waffled for 10 minutes already. So on this one, I'm going to start working and see how far I can get on this section. It is a block section, so I reckon I will be able to get there a bit quite quickly. We'll see. It is rounds, which is easier. And I'm going to use one of these prototypes, though it is pink on pink. This is one of the prototypes that my hubby's been creating. We're working on the spacing for the diamonds and stuff. But once he gets those how I like them, we're hoping to be able to produce some limited edition diamond painting trays. And when I say limited edition, it may just be due to the time they actually take to print and being able to keep up with demand and stuff. We don't want to be offering them unless we can ship them. So it very well may be an item that comes in and out of stock, dependent, because they do take quite a bit to print. But I think my diamonds match beautifully. Do they not? Even though I've got a rogue one. Let's ignore the rogue one. The spacing on the tray just needs to come in just a little bit. But he's currently messing on sort of the next one. It's got some nice little finger holes here as well to hold it. And he has done a stopper. There's a couple of little adjustments that need to be done on the stopper. And he's also designed a lid for it as well. We did try stackable. We're not sure how well that seems to be working with the design, but we'll of course keep you updated. And speaking of Mr. 4Kids, it's his birthday today. Well, the day this is going up. I'm actually filming it the day before so that I am free and clear for his birthday, but I won't tell you how old he is. That's up to him. He reads the comments. So if he wants to disclose his age in the comments, he can. He reads the comments quite often, so if you want to wish him happy birthday, feel free to in the comments, and he will see them. Whether he'll see them the day they're posted or whether it'll be a couple of days later, I'm not sure. But I do need to remember there is no stopper in this tray at the moment. But I'm working on, of course, a block of colour. And the first thing I sort of like to do, especially when my block of colour is around the edge of the painting, is I like to just get my edge. So I take my time and move up my block, mainly my outer edges more so than the inner edges, and I'll build up all the way up. Once I've done the edges, I'll zoom in as well so that you can see a bit better. Ooh, try and pick the diamond up would be handy. So I'm just going all the way up the edge. Now most of them are straight, there's the odd one that's not, but this is when I'll then finesse before I start doing the block in the middle. And there's a few different ways that I do that. But of course I'll chat through them all. Let me just get to the tippy top of this section. Okay, so now I've sort of got to the top of that section. Let me zoom you in a little bit so that you can hopefully see a little bit better what I mean. Okay, so I've sort of got my section now, and this is when I'll use my straightener if I feel like they just maybe need nudging in just a little bit just to get in the lines, or if there's the odd one that I'm not quite happy with. If you want a straight line to work against, a gift card or a credit card, bank card, that sort of thing, or even a ruler, can be quite nice to just line up against the edge while you get your edge straight. And then there are a couple of ways that you can work from there. Some of it is just a matter of variety for yourselves. Sometimes it can be if you're struggling with getting it straight. So if you do tend to struggle with straight, do the edges, but then actually step out. So I've put one right in the corner, and then I'm going to do two the other side of that. So what I've actually got is two, or a set of 3 diamonds to nudge it into to finish making that section, and then I will just keep building it up from there. So my rows are getting bigger and bigger as I go. So I've got I had a row of 1, then I had 2, then I had 3. Now I'm on a row of 4. And once I've done those 4 and sort of butted them into the others that are already there, then I'm going up to the next row of 4. I quite like doing this method. This is one of my sort of favourite methods when I'm doing a block of colour with round, more so with round than with square. But sometimes I even vary that up. So there's a few different ways that I'll do it, but this tends to be one of my favourites for it being straight, because I'm using the diamonds I've already placed to make it straight. One of the other things I like to do is, my memory card doesn't interrupt me. Other things I like to do is go in diagonal lines, but by bouncing off another line. So in effect, I come down here, or I've gone up, and now what I'll do is I'll bounce off and I'll do myself a diagonal line. This is another way of doing checkerboard, but by making checkerboard a little bit more interesting. So you will still be doing every alternate square, but you go up in one direction in a diagonal line, which it still takes a while to do said line, as you can tell, because I'm still going. Trying not to touch the painting too much, because of course I've got a big block that's free, but I do sometimes just use my little pinky finger just to steady myself as I'm putting it down. And then once I reach another edge, I then bounce off that edge and go in another direction. And you can keep doing that until you, in effect, bounce all over the diamond painting. And you can do this whether you're working in a square section, a rectangle section, any type of section that you're working in. You can bounce yourself off the sides. Of course, you'll get a different pattern depending on the size that you're working on, but you'll get a pattern nonetheless, and that can vary it up. So let's just get up to the top, and then we'll bounce off again, and it will be a shorter part. So I've got to what I class as the top. These aren't full sections after that. I will move my cover paper. And then we bounce off there. Megan says it's like the DVD symbol when you were waiting for a DVD to load, or a screensaver that was paused and you just have an icon bouncing. So I've just placed that one and I've hit an edge, so now I'm bouncing off that one and I'm now coming down again. So of course I've made myself a little rectangle block, but I'm going to bounce round and bounce further down until I hit another edge, whether that be the edge of diamonds that I've already done, or whether that be the cover paper edge. I'll hit one of them and then I'll go in the opposite direction. You can always restart whenever you feel like it, if you feel like you want a bit of a different pattern. And of course I've been able to miss one there because I've already done it as I'm going round. You may just want to do this for a small period of time just to give yourself smaller blocks. So maybe, let's get down to here. So I've got down to this edge here. So I would probably then just decide to go down here to the bottom, which is only a few. But you could decide that once you got to there, actually that's enough. And then you could decide to fill in this section, and then maybe this section, and then this section. Just sort of break your section up into even smaller ones for yourself. Or you could just keep going and keep going and keep going. I'm just going to go up to this part here to show you another way that you can do it. So the checkerboard method that people also like to do is where you basically do every alternate square. So I'm going to do it within this little rectangle, well, oblong, weird rectangle. There's a name for it, I just can't remember. And I'm going to do it so that every alternate one is done. Now you can do this in rows all the way up to the top. This is a very handy way of doing blocks on squares. There is something so satisfying, really satisfying, about filling in the gaps in the middle on a square painting. It clicks. It clicks when it goes in. So I've filled in now, so that one is every alternate, and you could choose to do that, you know, within your paintings, but then once you've done it, you then are able to just put your diamond in that gap, and you're not concentrating on lining it up because the other diamonds are lining it up for you. The only place you can go is in the middle. That's the only place it will fit. So quite often people do checkerboard because you can do it quicker, especially on squares where you have to line it up. Rounds, I find rounds are quicker than squares anyway, because I don't have to make sure that the square's facing the right angle. So we'll just fill in all of those, and if it sits on top of another diamond by mistake, you just give it a push and it scoots it into the right place. Sorry, I've got a pen that's only just, of course, had wax put in it. So it takes a little bit for it to fill up and sort of find its place properly. So there, what I've done is I've done a checkerboard method in that block and then I've filled it in. I vary up how I'm doing this, whether I'm doing it by stacking them into corners, whether I'm deciding to go all the way around. So I definitely do round the edges quite often first to get myself a nice line, but then I might decide to do the edges by the cover paper. Sometimes I do it at the same time, sometimes I don't. The whole idea is that there's no real wrong way of doing this. As long as you put the right colour on the right symbol, you're good to go. So as long as you do that, you're fine. But you can vary it up either per section, or you may find one that you prefer. Or, as what I often do, is I change it up while I'm doing it. So I'll do this sort of building up from a corner for a bit, and I'll be like, oh, bud. And then I'll just go off on a mad tangent. Or I might start by doing checkerboard and then decide, oh, actually, I'm a bit bored of doing checkerboard, and I might fill in a block, or I might do something different on this bigger section that's not got any diamonds in it yet. I do like the bounce off method, where you bounce off the sides, but it does get to a point where you end up with too many tiny little sections, and it's like, do I carry on, or shall I fill in some of these? And I just like to vary it up. But by bouncing off and round, it tends to do the checkerboard method anyway. It just does it in a different way and takes a bit longer. But yeah, there are many, many different ways. Of course, you could just go in rows. Sometimes I go in rows, and I won't do every other square. I will do every square in a row. It really, really depends on my mood, on what I did last time, on what I fancy for a change, whether I need to concentrate a bit more. Maybe there's something going on in the room around me, and there's conversations going on, or maybe I'm watching a TV show that's got my attention maybe a little bit more than a different show would. And if that's the case, then I might just do them in a row so that I'm not having to pay attention, like on checkerboard, about where I'm putting the diamond as much because of what's going on around me. And that's the good thing, you can just vary it up. With squares, quite often checkerboard can give you nice, neat lines. It can help. Rounds, it can help. I've not found it as much as squares. I do find that doing checkerboard on squares, when you fill in the gaps, makes it a lot quicker. I don't find it's to the same extent when it comes to rounds. But you still can find yourself nudging some over that you may have misplaced on your first way round. But look, it's a pretty pattern. And then you could just choose to build it up from there. So I'm going to do that one in the middle. And then I'm just going to go in rows for a little bit and just vary it up. The idea is it's up to you. There are many different ways, and if you've got a big block of colour and you're getting a little bit bored, then mix it up for yourself and do it in a different way. Right, I'm just going to put a bit more wax in my pen. As I say, this is a new pen tip. So I do find that when you've got a new pen tip, it does seem to need loading up a little bit more than it would. I will put an everlasting tip in this. I can't be finding the pliers at the moment to get this tip out, but I do have spares because I did know something pen-wise was coming from Cindy when I ordered from Everlasting Tips, and that's just because we did get in a little bit of a panic that the parcel could have been lost in transit. So Cindy tried to keep it as a surprise, but when she sent me the receipt with the tracking number on it, of course it said what it was. So that element, and then I've just noticed that one of my lines is a little bit out, so I'm just going to use my straightener to nudge them all back up or over, just so that I'm a bit happier with the way they're sitting, and that's why I love having a straightener in my pens. It works wonders. But yeah, I hope you are all well this weekend. UK is still in lockdown. We have an announcement tomorrow, the 22nd, I think. Things are starting to leak in the media, of course. It's as though they just want to prepare us for what's coming. But yeah, we're still currently in a lockdown. I've had a shielding letter advising to stay shielding until the 31st of March so far. I need more diamonds. I'm going to get rid of that dark one as well because, sorry, but you don't belong in my pinks and my pretty pink tray with my pretty pink diamonds. Yeah, I've been advised to still be shielded till the 31st, so I don't think much is going to change in this house. All workers in this house are key workers anyway, so they've all been working, either in hospitals or in stores or in schools. So nice variety, though there is more testing going on. So I think I mentioned it last time, Megan now gets tested twice a week. Hubby gets tested depending on what hospital or care home he's going into. I think once he got tested 4 times in 3 days. So he ended up with a test in the morning and a test in the afternoon, just due to the different places he went, and they wanted to see the results. But yeah, there's definitely more testing going on. Hubby has now had his jab, his COVID jab. I've had mine, so I've had my first one, and then hubby got his first one with him working in and out of hospitals. The offer went out, so he took that. And apart from a sore arm, I felt a little bit queasy when I first had it, though I don't know if that's because I hadn't eaten much either. It was one of those, it didn't last that long, and it could have been for either reason. But it was mainly the sore arm. I think hubby had that too. Though he didn't moan as much as me, so I don't know whether that means it wasn't as bad as mine. But I did find any time I even slightly moved my arm, it hurt for a few hours, a few days after I'd had it, but won't stop me having my second. But yeah, I hope everything is well where you are, wherever you may be. Some places seem to be getting on with it a bit more than others, or their rates are definitely lower than others. I know my family in Australia, the rates are a lot lower than the UK there, so there's not anywhere near as many restrictions on their day-to-day life. See, look, I've already switched from going in rows to going in diagonal lines. I must admit, I do like the diagonal line stacking. I like this with squares as well. The fact that you've got 2 diamonds to sort of settle it in between, I find it gives a really nice finish. Yeah. So, my memory card's about to save. Let me make it so it doesn't cut me off mid-sentence. But yeah, thank you to everybody who has ordered from the shop. We have been inundated with orders, of which we're getting them out as soon as possible. The only real delay at the moment is the cardstock. The cardstock for putting your DMC numbers onto for your spare storage. And that is just because they take so much time to cut. Because they are cut by us. And there's only so much time I can sort of squeeze into the day for it. So it is taking us a while to sort of, there's not many outstanding. There is only a few more that we need to get through, and everybody's orders will be out, depending on how many have been ordered since I filmed this. But we should be caught, at the current rate, if no more ordered, we should be up to date in a couple of days. But we have put, I think we have put up to a week, just in case something happens that sort of scuppers things. I would rather send it out earlier than I've advised than later. It's just the way I prefer to do things. I would much rather give you a longer estimated time, but then get it to you quicker. But I've been enjoying sorting out my spare storage. So if you saw the video yesterday, I started to put the labels on my new baggies from Diana, the heavier duty. So they're more expensive than the original baggies that I purchased, but they are really, really nice. So I've started to move things over into them and tidy up the storage, as you will have seen the beginning of it yesterday. And I'm actually looking forward to doing the next video on it, because I'm looking forward to having that project finished. So you will see those videos coming up over the next few weeks. I'm hoping that the next one will be a bit longer than the one for yesterday was, the video that was up yesterday. That one was filmed shortly before it went up, so I needed to ensure that I could get it done and processed and up on YouTube on time. So I couldn't commit to doing loads. Plus I had the videos for the rest of the week to do, including this one. But I am looking forward to getting some more of those videos done and getting through my spares and seeing if I can get them down into 2 boxes. That is the question though, isn't it? Can I get my spares down into 2 boxes? I think 2 boxes is reasonable. There's a lot of DMC numbers. I think it worked out about 453, was it? I did look on the website, I then promptly forgot how many it was again. So I think there's about 453 DMC numbers, not including any special drills, just DMC colours that are used in diamond painting. So I am kind of hoping that I can squeeze them into 2, but I do realise that that may not happen. So we'll see. Maybe I could get it down into 3, including my specials, maybe. Squeeze that diamond in. Obviously I didn't place that one in the right place. Give that a nudge. Oh look, I've got the whole bottom corner done just by breaking up these sections a little bit. It means that when you're looking at it, you're not looking at a big frightening piece. You can sort of section it off a little bit more, and a little bit of a weird shape, which is also nice, because I don't know if anybody else is like me. What I find I can catch myself doing when I'm diamond painting, especially when I'm doing it in rows, is I find myself counting in my head. So it's quite nice, the likes of this triangle, that even though I'm counting here and I'm not including the one already placed, it's like 5 diamonds. And then I'd start counting again in my head, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But then when I start going down now, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you feel as though you're getting somewhere because the numbers are getting smaller. And that can be sometimes why I do it on a slope, because the numbers get bigger, but then when the numbers get smaller, you know you're nearly at finishing. Or you could always, of course, start from the longest part and maybe divide a section up, but it's all about varying it up. And I can't get hold of diamonds, I'm losing the wax again. Well, that is the way that I do blocks of colour. I find it really enjoyable when I'm doing blocks of colour. I find that I can vary things up. I can, not concentrate on it as much. I'm not changing the diamonds out all the time and hunting for a new symbol. I couldn't do it all the time. It would drive me up the wall. But I do like doing it on occasion. I like the fact that it's just a little bit different. And I like the fact that I've got this painting, which has got blocks of colour, teamed up with a couple of paintings on the go that are more confetti, which means that I have got that variety. I like the fact that I've got round, if I can get hold of the round, I like the fact that I've got round paintings kitted up and square, because I enjoy both. Again, it's nice to vary it. I like the fact that I've got big diamond paintings and I've got smaller diamond paintings. That also allows me to vary things up just a little bit and work on a painting that's not going to be finished anytime soon, compared to working on a painting that I could finish fairly quickly if it was the only painting that I was working on, but will still, you know, keep me entertained for a while. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one there just because I do have other stuff to do, other videos to film. I'm trying not to film on hubby's birthday itself, so that I can spend time with him. And I haven't got a stopper, so I just need to remember to tip my diamonds back in with the tray in the pot. But I'm loving the new tray. More information will be out on that when things are finalised. It takes quite a few different prototypes until it's something that I'm really happy with. I'm going to pop that on there until I get to sit down later, and I'll finish off that section so that it's done. But thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much to Margaret and Cindy for these items. I'm going to let Megan have her pen back, but you will see this pen more in upcoming videos, I'm sure. And I'm sure we'll end up with glow-in-the-dark drills on stuff as well, because I'm excited to put them on something. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.